breaking news. There was a heist in the Louvre, all right? We thought that the days of heists have ended, all right? We thought that heists will be relegated to TV shows and none of this would ever happen again. Well, the Louvre heist happened and it was diabolical. Thieves stole 88 million euros worth of Napoleon jewels in 7 minutes. On October 19th, 2025, 4 mass suspects disguised as construction workers, this is crazy, scaled the Louvre Museum's exterior wall in Paris, smashed a balcony window, and stole 8 priceless Napoleon-era jewels from the Apollo Gallery in just 7 minutes. There's now footage of this, and there's also the whole breakdown for the strategy. I'm going to show it to you. This is my favorite part, and why I'm actually covering this is because this is all women's fault. That's right. It's all women's fault. That's right. It's true. It's true. I'm not even like blaming Eve that she ate from like the tree of knowledge or whatever. No, Eve was too far back. This is like a 100% woman L. It's truly a sad day for women. With artifacts valued at 88 million euros, the uninsured items, no insurance. That's what happens when France decides to import Muslims and kick out Jews. They stop insuring their objects, including a diamond tiara owned by Empress Eugenie and pieces gifted by Napoleon I, represent significant cultural loss for France's natural collection. Louvre director Laurent Descartes described the breach as a failure of security measures, yeah, no shit, leading to an Interpol-led manhunt with no arrests. The women, they whammed too close to the sun. I'm sorry. They whammed way too close to the sun on that one. Yep, they out there, they're like, you know what? We're gonna wham it up this house, and everything is gonna go super well. They didn't have any arrests. They have no suspects. But they somehow have video footage. Now, I have to give you some lore here, because this is diabolical. Now, this glorious-looking case full of these unbelievable jewels, this is what it looked like before. Well, before 2019. 2019 showed up, and there was a new management that took power in the Louvre, and let's just say things have changed. Let's just say the new management, who we will get to in a moment, spoilers, it's women, decided, you know what, we don't like this. This is a little too gauche. It's a little too cringe. We need to replace that with something a little more modern. We need an aesthetic that matches a modernized workforce. And they replaced it with this. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this looks like schlop, unlike this, which looks like regal and gorgeous and awesome. And then a couple of women came in with their manginas and decided to convert it into this. Now, you might think that, well, at least they changed it for a much more secure looking box instead of what it was before, but no, the reality is these are less secure. Now, this is definitely something that I'm sure appalls you. They replaced this display, which had bulletproof glass, as well as a like trapdoor mechanic that it would drop the jewels in if anything attacks the glass. And they replaced it with this, which A, does not have the trapdoor mechanic, and B, normal glass. I don't even know. Oh my god, but look at it. It sparkles and glistens. It's so chic. It looks like my kitchen. I really hate what my grandmother's kitchen looked like. My grandmother's kitchen had all sorts of shit all over and moldings. But my kitchen is pristine, tasteless, and beautiful. I'm not even kidding. I feel like I like this. Listen. I got canceled by Taylor Lorenz on Twitter, a journalist, for being misogynistic, so I have to live up to that reputation. So that was the first thing that happened that definitely affected people's lives. The Louvre gets its first female head of security. Priceless Napoleonic treasures are stolen in broad daylight within a year. Now, you probably think this is a coincidence. But then you look at her haircut and you realize, no, this is not a coincidence. Dominique Buffin, 46, was hired as the first female security chief by Laurent Descartes, the museum's first female director, last September. So this is how it happens. They girl boss too close to the sun, right? So they hired a female director, and the female director immediately was like, yo, I gotta give out handouts to all of my girl boss homies, and immediately fires all the actual men that are working on shit and rehiring them with retards. Is this not the greatest thing you've ever seen in your entire life? Now, not to say that women are automatically retards or anything. No, God forbid. But if you are literally hiring people, right? If you are literally hiring people as diversity hires, then you are inherently picking people to not be the best that they could be. Now, this, as you can tell, is not a topic that's being discussed anywhere in left-wing circles. This is only a story that, you know, more right-wing people or people that have brains are actually referring to. Even though this is a heist of the century, this is somehow relegated to the back rung of controversy. For some reason, no one wants to talk about this publicly, and that reason is because it's a colossal L for feminism in general. That's right. Men and women are both created by God in the image of God. Fantastic creatures. Each of us have our own strengths and our own weaknesses, and we make up for each other's weaknesses with our strengths. That is why a man and a woman can create the ultimate perfect unit. Doing their absolute best to create a beautiful environment for children. And honestly, God created the world to be exactly like that. But the lefties hate God. And therefore, the lefties decided that's actually not true. So we are going to hire a lot of people that aren't actually as qualified because, hey, at least we're women. Louvre head of security, Dominique Buffet, the museum's first female security head, hired last September by the museum's first female director, accused of being a diversity hire. Like, first of all, you just need to look at them. Like, these are deeply unhappy people. Like, I would be shocked if these people had some sort of meaningful relationship with a family. I'll be real. This do be the type of woman that be like, yo, I don't make my husband sandwiches. He makes his own sandwiches. In fact, he should make me sandwiches too. People are noticing. The noticing is diabolical. The Louvre's first female museum director hired the first female security chief, and less than a year later, Napoleon's crown jewels were stolen in broad daylight. How does this even happen, man? Like, dude, this is amazing. You can write this better. DEI at the center of the Louvre heist. In 2021, the Louvre here's the lore. The Louvre tapped a woman, Laurence Descartes, as the chair with a mission to feminize recruitment to key posts in the museum. Wee woo! That's an L, buddy. That's scary. Bro, we need to get Inspector Jacques Clouseau on the case immediately. Killer, I will find you. In 2024, almost a year prior to the date of the break-in, Laurence Descartes tapped another security woman, Dominique Buffet, as the museum's head of security. A French newspaper interviewed Buffet and secures a high-profile post. Policing is a risky profession, a man's job, but actually no, assures Dominique Buffet. Just a year later, a cadre of thieves managed to ransack precious historical jewels at the Louvre after comically climbing the massive ladder from the street in what could have been a scene from the peak. Pensons! None of it was sophisticated, nor stealthy, yet no one stops them. You cannot build a competent society when you place diversity quotas over merit. It fails every time. Sacre bleu! Suckle my teats, French women. It's a truly horrible day to be French. Well, it's always a bad day to be French, but specifically a French woman, because this definitely doesn't look good. These are the jewels that were stolen from the Louvre at 7 minutes, worth several million euros, including several jewels that could not be valued. Priceless artifacts and jewelry. Like, actually, priceless artifacts and jewelry. Absolutely. What a tragedy, man. What a tragedy. But at least we can blame this on women. All right. So, like, the silver lining is amazing. So the Louvre Museum shuts down. After armed thieves steal royal jewels. Stolen pieces once belonging to Napoleon and Empress Eugene are said to have been inestimable value. Right. So this is the Louvre. You'll recognize it if you went to France or if you watched... the Da Vinci Code. Those are the only two ways you would recognize the Louvre. It's this very epic, sleek-looking glass pyramid thing, and they broke in. That literally one of the most probably one of the most historically famous museums of all time, and a couple of guys just managed to break in and steal shit. Now, obviously, the leftoids. This is the leftoid coverage. Are you ready? You're gonna shake. So as you can see, this is a person with empathy due to the Palestine and Mexico flag. Right? That's how you know that this is someone with empathy, because of the Mexico flag and the Palestine flag. That means they care about things that they don't really understand. A thief robs another thief is a king of thieves. Farsi proverb. And that's fine because, well, Napoleon's bad. Napoleon is secretly bad because Napoleon was colonial, and because he was a colonizer, he was technically a thief. So the museum is also a thief. So therefore, a thief stealing from a thief is also not really a bad thing. Right? This is a Palestine flag. Classic, right? I mean, think about it. The Palestinians, They stole the land first, and then now they're crying that the land got stolen from them. Damn, that logic doesn't work from them or something. Anyway, it's a rough day. It's a rough day to have a Palestine flag in bio, especially when Nuxanor is on the case. So this is actually crazy. Louvre Museum in Paris suffered a bit massive theft. 4 suspects. Now, if you actually look at what went down, this is crazy. Here they are. Alright, they break in, steal some shit, and they're out. And that's it. And they're gone. Look at this. This is crazy. And this is what was taken. Truly diabolical. Honestly. Now, this is the schematics for how the actual heist was done. 9:30 a.m. Bro, 9:30 a.m. Literally in broad daylight. This is crazy. So 9:30 a.m. the truck arrives. 9:34 the thieves break into gallery through the second floor window. 9:38 the thieves escaped on 2 high-powered scooters. It was literally perfectly planned. They got out with this weird little ladder truck thing. Dude, the fact that a little ladder truck was enough to get them in is insane. Like that's actually insane, bro. The fact that, like, it was a truck and went beep, 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 it picked up its fucking ass, then they just walked right in. Dude, listen, ladies, get a guy on the job immediately. We gotta ban ladders immediately. France and ladders, they don't match. All right, so I wanted to just see what's going on Fox News, how they covered it, and then we're gonna be looking at Matt Walsh making fun of women.
Officials say all leads remain open after Sunday's robbery of crown jewels in the Paris Louvre Museum.
How are all leads open? You mean you didn't make any progress? You didn't make any progress. Oh my God, that's crazy.
As they examine a vest and other equipment left behind at the scene. Meanwhile, new video appears to show a suspect calmly breaking into a glass display.
Calmly. Dude was like, security is women. And everyone else was like, nicely said, Dupont. And then they fucking stole the shit.
Containing the stolen jewels. So
our lead female investigator is on the case. She was selected by the female director. Not because she is a DEI hire or anything like this, but purely because she is a woman that knows how to pay at her own dates.
Bring in former FBI special agent and the founder of the FBI's National Crime Team, Robert Whitman. Robert, what are your thoughts about how this was done, besides the national embarrassment that France is feeling right now?
The national embarrassment. Oh my God. France is feeling national embarrassment because of feminism. Dude, who wrote this? Who wrote this?
Good morning, Brian. Thanks for having me on. It was a heinous crime, very audacious. The fact that it happened at 9:30 in the morning when the museum was open on Sunday morning. The fact that these guys were wearing these high visibility yellow vests.
That's so true, man. It's actually insane. They went in with bright yellow vests. Oh my God, dude, you guys suck, bro. I'll be real. You guys are so bad.
Themselves looked like they were workers at the museum. All of that played together to allow them to get into that the museum and do what they were doing. It was well thought out. I think there was a lot of planning that went in. They had to get equipment for this heist, but ultimately the execution wasn't all that great. Basically.
Bro, you are coping out of your mind. They got away with 88 million euros of shit, and you have no leads. Execution wasn't that great? I rate the robbery a 6 out of 10. If we would have had a male security guard, they would be in custody by now. Unfortunately, we didn't have any, so they managed to get away. But honestly, you did a pretty bad job.
Brian, if you're going to commit a crime, the only way to get away with it is by, 1, doing it by yourself. 2, telling no one what happened, and 3, leaving no evidence. If you do,
and you still didn't catch them, bro, you're not making this sound good.
Do that, it's very tough to catch people. In this case, they did all the opposites.
Oh my God! Look at him laughing. He's like, those absolute buffoons, complete losers. Look at them. They went in with 3 people. 3 people together. They literally knew who each other are. And they got away because we had women on the job. If we would have only had men. Zut alors. Esti, Carles, tabarnak. Sorry, that's French Canadian.
There was 4 guys involved, possibly 3 or 4 guys involved. They left a lot of forensic evidence, all that material left behind. And I'm guaranteeing you, because of the way they did this, they're telling people that they did it, and they're bragging.
Really?
So,
They didn't do a good job. My evidence, they are probably bragging to people. What is your source, sir? It was revealed to me in a dream. Candace Owens told me after she discovered that it was actually France that killed Charlie Kirk.
so ultimately, I have faith that they're going to get caught.
So,
Nice.
plus the scooters or motorcycles, whatever it is. You know what's a mystery? Evidently, there's a Regent diamond there worth $60 million. They could have grabbed that too. Yet they were specific on what they wanted, and they got 7 of the 8 things they were targeting. What does that tell you anything as an investigator?
Well, it tells me that they didn't have time to get to the Regent diamond. They were usually in these.
This dude does not stop. He does not stop laughing about it. This is crazy. He's like laughing and he's giggling. He's like, what losers! What absolute buffoons!
Cases, it's speed. It's very
Okay.
much all about speed. And I've had cases where individuals went in, stole paintings from museums and jewelry and things of that nature, and they try to get in and out as quickly as possible because they don't want to get caught, by the police responding. The alarms did go off, and there was a response from the museum security personnel. So it wasn't like nothing happened, and they had to get out very quickly. That's why they dropped one of the crowns. The crown of Eugenie, which was the wife of Napoleon III, they actually dropped it on the ground and damaged it. So they couldn't take it with them.
Wow, what a huge victory by the French. The fact that the burglars dropped the crown. That's the one that they recovered, by the way.
And that shows that they were in a big hurry.
Security on the scene. They get there and they want to protect the museum goers instead of going after the jewel thieves. Was that a smart move?
Well, that's what they're trained to do. Museum security individuals are trained to really, protect life. Property is one thing, okay, and property is valuable and it has a financial value to it and a historical value, but people's lives are most important. So no property is worth someone's life. So and in this case, like this, they did the right thing.
So, Robert, if someone's going to case the place, they might be on some video footage of cameras that might be in there. Who came over and over again, day after day, to check it out? Who rented the big basket crane that they used? Who rented the, I remember the 93 bombing, they found out who rented the truck, and that's how they were able to find those guys. Does this mean anything to you? There's been a rash of high-end jewelry heists from museums in Germany, Netherlands, and
that
the
could work.
Natural History Museum in Paris.
Random Fox News host has more insight on this actual theft than the detective pro.
Recently, do you think that there could be a connection worth exploiting there?
I think the Natural History Museum heist could be a connection. And the reason for that is because a lot of the MO, the modus operandi, was similar to this heist. So I would definitely be looking at that. But you're absolutely right. All of this equipment and material that they used, somehow it was bought or rented. I had a case I worked on in Milwaukee involving a Stradivarius violin that was stolen from the concertmaster of the symphony. And interestingly enough, they used a taser when they stole it. So
that might be one of the most interesting pieces of information that's completely irrelevant I've ever heard.
We were able to crack that case by finding out who had bought tasers in that area in the months before the heist.
Wow.
So as a result, it showed us who actually was involved. So this is
this guy's a pro. He actually looks into who bought the equipment, and he's like, that might tie us to the perps. Like, I'll be real, that's pretty crazy. Can you smell that? The air is currently very thick with cope. That's some of the most interesting detective work I've ever heard. I never thought that you would actually go back by looking into who purchased the stuff used to steal the shit. This is a new strategy that I think the police have developed very recently.
All this material is coming from somewhere. Somebody bought.
They're like, all right, so this truck was used, so maybe we should look into who owns the truck. Now, you probably didn't think of that yourself, but this is some top-notch detective work. And this is the type of thing that you really bring in the pros for.
Those cutters, and we're going to find out who.
Look how smug he is. We're going to find out exactly who purchased the shit used for stuff. Yep, we are.
Lastly, do you
yes,
think we're going to get
sir.
the guys?
Oh, God.
I really do. There's you know, at the FBI, I worked with the French police quite often, and there's a group in Paris called the BRB, and that's the Brigade Against Bandits.
Oh,
and they're professionals. They're very good at what they do.
All right.
And what's even more interesting is they've got tendrils all through Paris.
Oh shit!
Informants, criminals that talk to them, and there's those investigators. They have their thumb on the
police with criminals that talk to them. Again, I don't mean to be sarcastic here or anything, because I mean this seriously, but I've never heard in my life of detectives trying to get information from criminals.
Information.
Like, this is something the French have mastered, apparently.
Paris. So I think that it's a good possibility that people will be talking.
Robert Whitman, always interesting. Thanks so much.
All right, that was his insight. His insight is maybe they brag to other thieves, and those guys will tell the French police. Honestly, it's definitely something. Now, there's a deeper inside look onto the security that was at the Louvre that I think is important to mention. You see, as you can see, this was the Louvre security. It was very hard for the thieves to actually break in. We're currently looking into how exactly they were able to bypass the security protocols, but we are actually making progress. The French police is slowly figuring out exactly how this went down and figuring out who exactly is responsible for this obvious security blunder. Now, this over here is one of the French detectives that are on the case. And, like, dude, you can't even make this shit up, man. Like, you literally can't even make this up. Bro walked right out of the Pink Panther. Yes, I smell a Cheeto in the air. Is it possible that criminals were eating Cheetos? Have you considered this? No, sir, that was the security. The Cheetos were security, actually. Oh. Well, the case is open! Anyway, so, it keeps getting worse, apparently. Here's footage of the actual heist. Oh, heist of the century, bro. This is the heist of the century. Yep. Look at him go. Heist of the century, baby. That's them. They're out. Putain, they've taken the Jews. If only there was a male security guard somewhere. Oh my goodness. Someone calls the woman in charge. Please. Call the women in charge. I cannot stand this myself. No, this is actually diabolical that I got this far. Alright, they walked into the Louvre at 9:30, used a crane, smashed a window, stole the French jewels in 4 minutes. No violence, just precision. If a world-famous museum could rob in broad daylight, what does it say about guardians of the culture? It says that they should be male. Anyway, not to be a cringe or anything, let's see what Matt Walsh had to say about this. Hold my baguette, they're getting away!
Normally, when it comes to the daily cancellation, I need to expend some degree of effort researching and writing a script. I know that probably sounds difficult to believe, but it is true. People don't simply cancel themselves.
All right.
I have to think to myself, how can I present this cancellation in a humorous or engaging way, given the facts on the ground? But today, there's a notable exception to this general rule. In this case, I really don't have to do anything to highlight the absurdity of today's topic. Because
dude, I know. Look, it's obviously like a sad thing that happened, that these artifacts were gone and stuff like that. But listen, first of all, you're French, so my empathy for the French immediately, it decreases. Again, I don't mean this personally. I have less empathy for French people than for most other people. It's just how I'm built. It's nothing I could do. They were lit tired, it seems. So that's just one. And two, you guys fucked yourself. You really did. Like I just can't help but laugh at your misery a little bit.
All by itself, this is simply one of the most ludicrous, on-the-nose stories in recent memory. I'm talking, of course, about the museum heist.
All right. Dude, so many people told me to watch this coverage specifically because he pops off.
Took place on Sunday at the Louvre in Paris, France. And it's one of the most, of course, famous museums in the entire world.
Yep.
Every detail of the story from start to finish feels like a punchline.
It does.
I mean, it feels like
it's
a comedy.
amazing.
It feels like a movie.
It's tragedy.
If they still made comedies. But it's not. You know, this is all real. So we'll start with the fact that this robbery took place in broad daylight.
Yeah.
While the museum was open.
Yeah.
During regular business hours.
Yeah.
Watch.
Thieves burst into the Louvre in Paris, stealing crown jewels and prompting the world's most visited museum to be evacuated. Here's how the heist happened and why French authorities are in a race against time to recover the jewels. The robbery took place in the Galerie d'Apollon, At around 9:30 in the morning, 4 individuals drove motorcycles and a truck with a portable furniture elevator to the museum. They used the elevator
This is
to
the
get up
stupidest heist of all time. Look at this.
onto a balcony. They then cut through a window using what appeared to be angle grinders. Once inside the gallery, the thieves used the grinders to threaten guards and to cut into display cases containing Napoleonic and royal jewellery. The thieves tried, but failed, to set their truck on fire before fleeing on the motorcycles. They were in and out of the gallery in less than
I
seconds.
didn't even know that. There's no way. They tried and failed to set their truck on fire. Wait, that means they literally left the authorities with a truck, and they still can't use that to find. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Minutes.
So yes, 30 minutes after the museum opened to visitors, the thieves drove up to the building in a furniture elevator called a Monte Moubo. I don't know. Is that how you pronounce it? In France.
No, it's not. No,
and
it's
then they
not.
used
But
a
that's
glass
okay.
cutter to break the window, which
Obviously.
set off alarms, as you might expect. So this is the point where the heist should have been over. And
Right?
really-
You know, you break into the window, the alarms go off, people come and arrest you. But there was a twist, and the twist had the boobies.
It should have been over as soon as a guard saw a random furniture elevator full of masked construction workers pulling up to the museum. But we'll give them a pass on that for some reason. We'll cut them some slack. The moment the alarm goes off with the criminals still outside the building, that should have been game over for a heist like this.
Right? You would think. You would think, right? Oh my God. Oh my. They had empathy. They had empathy for them, though.
But it wasn't game over. As you heard, the thieves proceeded to threaten the guards with their power tools.
Bro!
Okay, they wave their power tools around, and no, that's not a euphemism. I mean, like actual tools. And instantaneously, the French guards surrendered.
I mean, but are we surprised? First of all, it's France, okay? Surrendering is literally part of the drama. They are professional surrenderers. All right? That is one. That's one important point. A second important point is you don't understand how cooked it is. Like in Canada, for example, which is just France's gay brother. Canada has a rule that if someone breaks into your house, you're not allowed to defend yourself. You have to let them rob you, and then call the police. It is illegal to defend yourself when someone breaks into your house. That is the law. All right? You are not even allowed to use pepper spray. Pepper spray is illegal if someone breaks into your house in Canada. You have to give them your car keys, let them drive off, and then call the police. All right? You have to understand how cooked society is when it's just completely overrun by hyper-feminized, empathetic bitches. And that is what happened. I mean, bitches in the gender-neutral term. There are many testicleless men as well that are getting the backhand in this analogy.
They just waved the white flag on the spot, as the French always do.
True!
They
They're
actually
cooked.
left the premises, according to multiple reports. They saw a guy with a compact drill and like a screwdriver.
Oh my God! Here's a compact drill. I wish I had guns, but unfortunately, this is France. I have an umbrella that if you push the button on the umbrella shoots at the tip like a needle. Sir. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Sir, why don't you just have a gun? No, but my umbrella contains a toxin in the point of the umbrella that if I utilize it and twist it, it's like, oh my God, bro, stop. Just pull out a fucking gun. What are you doing?
And measuring tape, and they just ran for the hills. And then the criminals were free to cut open the display cases with $1,300 cut-quick saws, as seen in this cell phone image.
But sir, they threatened us with screwdrivers. Do you know what they do? They push and they down at the same time.
You can see here. Now, admittedly, it's
Did the
easy.
guards not have guns? Probably not. It's France. France, guns are not really accepted in France. They probably had batons. It's like, sir, pull out your baton, but he has a power drill. Power drill beats baton. Don't you know? I play it all the time in rock, baton, paper.
To mock this scenario, but and we should. But to be fair, if you're a guard and your entire job, the reason for your paycheck is to defend priceless works of art from potential vandals, what are you going to do if you see something like this?
Well, the actual reality is that their job is not to do that. They are literally hired as bodies, right? They're not actually hired to even be there to protect the jewelry. They're hired to be bodies because you gotta hire guards. They're not actually expected to do anything, which is why they thought they can get away with DEI hires. It's why they thought they can get away with just hiring diverse people instead of actually hiring competent people. Doing right to your carotid arteries. This is a weapon of mass destruction. This is why the French would never put up a fight against something like this. This directly in your carotid artery, you would be screwed. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty scary stuff. I mean, obviously, there's no defense against an attack like that.
I mean, to be fair, the thief was dual-wielding. He had a power drill in one hand and a screwdriver in the other. We couldn't keep up with his technique and his strategy. I only had one baton and a pair of zip-tie handcuffs.
What are you going to do? Use a gun? Shoot the guy?
No. Guns are illegal.
Yeah,
Guns are bad. Guns are bad. Guns don't stop crimes. Isn't that what the leftoids tell us? The leftoids tell us that that guns don't stop crimes. I will throw this cheese at you. It is rotten cheese.
Ridiculous. I mean, using a
Smack
weapon
you with the
to
rotten
stop
cheese.
bad guys from
I
breaking
call it fromage toss.
the law? Who's ever heard of that? I mean, they've long since moved on from that kind of barbarism in France.
True.
You know, the barbarism of like law and order
True.
and civilization. No, you can't interfere with him in any way, or else you might put some holes in your drywall.
That's correct.
Your only option is to just let them do whatever they want. Actually, there was one thing the guards...
Today's baguette is fresh, tasty, and fluffy, but yesterday's baguette is hard, brittle, and strong.
apparently prevented. They supposedly stopped the thieves from setting fire to their furniture elevator on the way out the door. So, you know, that's something. But other than that, there was no reason to have guards at all. I mean, they might as well. The museum might as well have just been completely open to the public. No alarms, no security measures of any kind. Yeah. And by the way, the criminals left the scene on scooters.
Yep.
They left on scooters.
Listen, man, listen. Am I laughing at France's downfall a little too much right now? Yes. Okay, I am, and I'll have you know, I feel zero bad feelings about doing this. Like, you did this to yourself, man. This is like my favorite part about this heist specifically is that it is the culmination of all of your actions. All right? I have someone in chat being like, but dude, the jewels were stolen. Yeah, true. And it's all your fault. It is all your fault. Okay? You have to understand. It is all your fault. You were robbed by the gayest burglars on the gayest escape vehicles of all time. Well, your elite selected hand-picked army of underqualified women security guards were trying to protect it but didn't have any weaponry because you ban all that shit because it's bad and patriarchal or some stupid bullshit like that, while you're out there importing migrants that are fucking killing you and raping you. Like, dude, this country is like death by empathy, one day at a time.
They might as well have just been riding away on big...
Oh my god, there's a Palestine protest. Let's immediately recognize a Palestine state. This will solve everything. Yeah, it didn't solve anything. What are we doing? These guys suck so badly, it's amazing.
Wheels.
They will recognize Palestine to appeal the people that are not following the law, so maybe they can follow the law. Instead of enforcing the rule of law, we will recognize a random piece of land in the Middle East to hopefully make them happy.
As well been on rollerblades, just like casually skating down the street. How did the police not immediately chase them down? You're talking about a brazen robbery in one of the most famous locations in the entire country. It took several minutes, alarms sounded, and not only did the guards fail to do anything, but the police also failed to do anything.
Yeah, that's impressive. How?
So the criminals left behind a bunch of evidence, including a blowtorch, a yellow vest, a saw, and an imperial crown with more than 1,000 diamonds. So here is the saw, for instance, that they left behind, that they were lugging around. But still, there have been no...
Bro, this team of thieves would not have been able to rob, like, an average American dude in the middle of, like, fucking North Dakota. All right? Like, these guys would not have been able to rob your average American guy. Like, this is crazy.
Yes. So they've got video, a mountain of evidence, witnesses, and no one's been arrested. Cold weather will be here before you know it, and
Yeah, they all got away, it seems.
Included.
All right.
Imagine at the moment.
Let's get to the fun part.
As you might imagine, there are a lot of theories about whether this heist was an inside job or some kind of long con. Apparently, the localized alarm system wasn't operational at the time, and only the general museum alarm sounded. Additionally, there are reports that the museum changed the structure of its glass cases recently.
I mean, that's not a theory, that's just a fact.
They supposedly went from armored cases, which would drop the jewels into a safe. If they
I explained this to you. This thing is like a fucking sarcophagus. This shit is impenetrable.
Served to more accessible cases. Now, we'll put up those images on the screen so you can see the contrast. Now, you might ask, why would a museum intentionally make its treasures much easier to steal?
And also uglier, both.
Not to mention, the original cases were beautiful. So why did you make them uglier? So you made it uglier and easier to steal.
That's pretty weird.
That seems kind of odd. I mean, the very last thing that you would want priceless artifacts to be is accessible, you would think.
True.
But as it turns out, it was all part of a plan to counter the museum's elitist image.
That's it, baby. That's it, baby. Take down the patriarchy. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta get in there, whip our imaginary dick around, and change everything on the inside. Does this not sound like incredibly real? Like, you know, like when you invite her over for the first time, and she looks around, and she's like, yeah, we're going to need to move that couch. That's the first thing she says when she walks in. Yeah, we're going to need to move that couch. Now, if you're planning a long-term relationship, that's fine. Because dudes don't actually give a flying fuck where the couch is. But if it's not a long-term relationship, then what's going on?
So this is from an article that was published 5 years ago. Okay, this is real, apparently. Quote, the Louvre, the world's most visited museum,
I can't believe it's to counter its elitist image, man.
is working on a major overhaul of how its vast collections are presented and explained. Jean-Luc Martinez, the president of the Louvre, told reporters, to counter its elitist image, the museum will strive for a cultural democratization to make its treasures more accessible with improved presentation, labeling, and curating. Martinez, who comes from a working-class background, said he wanted to build on the outreach success of the Louvre's Outpost Museum in Lens, a poor former mining town in northern France. He said sometimes the former royal palace in the heart of Paris can intimidate certain demographics, and the museum needs to reassure people that its collections are also for them.
What are you trying to say? Again, I'm trying to understand this in the best way. It's like, everything is very fancy in this image, unfortunately. Everything's very fancy, and black people aren't good around fancy things. So we're going to have to turn it into this. Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's disgusting. Like, you are the racists. It's like, certain demographics would be like, yeah, royal, fancy, chic. Yeah, this doesn't work for us. Our culture is more about mud and huts. So could you please make it look more like this? Like, am I joking? That's what he's saying. That's what she's saying. We need to appeal to the scum of society, the bigotry of low expectations.
To counter its elitist image, the museum, with improved presentation, labeling, and curating.
That's crazy.
Martinez, who comes from a working-class background, also the collections are also for them. Because this is always...
We wanted to make sure everyone was comfortable in this entire museum, so we've replaced all of the security with IKEA. That's right, we are putting up IKEA furniture to host the jewels. We want it to be like home for the poors. We want the poors to come in and be like, oh, this is exactly like my home.
Like, when they want to make things more accessible to supposedly like working class people, they just make it uglier. Because, why would working class people want something beautiful?
He is working class after all. He is a poor. He is a poor from a mud house society, and he probably would not enjoy looking at something nice because it would make him feel poor and pathetic.
We don't need to give beauty to them. Those plebes.
The poors.
That's the attitude.
We call them the poors on the channel.
And, mission accomplished. The Louvre certainly became more accessible to more demographics. Now any old working class Joe...
Now anyone could break in through a window and take the stuff. Yeah, they have made the jewels more accessible than they ever imagined.
Just show up and steal whatever he wants.
True.
He doesn't even have to be an elite burglar like in Ocean's 11.
The Louvre is sponsored by IKEA.
Anyone at all can apply for a job as a jewel thief. As it happens, the same principle applies to the museum's security team, apparently. So last year, This woman became the Louvre's first ever female director
There
of
we
security.
go. Here we go.
You
Oh my God, she's even wearing the fucking cringe rock necklace thing. Dude, these people, like, this is crazy, dude.
See her there. Her name is Dominique Buffin, and she's 46 years old.
It's pronounced Buffin. How dare you?
Really broke the glass ceiling here so that thieves could walk in off the street and literally break the glass on the jewelry cases. Like I said, it's just like, walk.
Look, you want me to do my classic? See, this is something you only get on the Nuxanor channel. No other channel is willing to do this. All right, this is what we call the judging a book by its cover segment of the video. It's where we take a screenshot of characters in this glorious story that is God's reality, and we actually take a look and see exactly what the actual red flags are. The hair comes to here. All right, the hair comes to here on a woman. It's also rounded like so, and also she's balding. All right, so this is obviously an issue. She's not married, clearly, or if she is, she's not happy. So that's pretty bad. Immediately, that's an immediate problem. The next thing that's important to note is the fact that she's wearing the fucking cringe jade-looking rock cringe shit. This does not work at all. Like, literally at all. So if this is an immediately 4 out of 10 human. Again, not trying to judge or anything, but that's exactly what I am doing. This is a 4 out of 10 human. We call her Z Karen, and Z Karen is what I would like to say. She is Z Karen. This is crazy. Oh my God, no, this is a problem. She's even having that Monsieur style emo French haircut. This is a problem. It's a problem all around. I am your step aunt, and I am not happy. I will teach you how to not pick up girls, because picking up girls is misogynistic.
And really broke the glass ceiling here so that thieves could, walk in off the street and literally break the glass on the jewelry cases. Like I said, it's just like too easy with this story. As it happens, Buffin was hired by another woman named Laurence Descartes, who happens to be the museum's first female director.
You know what we're doing. It is time for some judging books by their cover. All right. So that's enough. All right. We've seen enough of Miss Buffin. All right, let's bring up the next character. All right, so this is a thing. All right, so this is what we call she is the same shape as Rosie McDonald. So that's an L. This is already, honestly, enough said. 3 out of 10. All right, enough said. All right, I feel like we did enough. Look, I could give you the whole, the cringe, the wingtip style cringe glasses. No, that's a problem, man. This is an issue. This is a massive issue. Like, dude, she also has she should probably go to a doctor, in my opinion. She needs to check out her thyroid. She probably has thyroid issues due to being fat.
And she also looks exactly how you'd expect her to look. So yes, in 2021, Lawrence became the Louvre's first female director in its 228-year history. And then, very quickly, she hired another woman to lead the security team in another historic breakthrough. This is not an accident. We see this all the time across a variety of positions, particularly the government and technology sector.
Right.
Certain demographics look out for each other. They hire each other,
True.
and then everything falls apart.
True.
Remember, it was Jill Biden who recommended the nomination of Kimberly Cheadle, the Secret Service director who nearly got Trump killed.
Yep.
Cheadle claimed that sloped roofs are just too dangerous for the Secret Service.
I remember that.
As an excuse for why the Secret Service allowed a sniper with an AR-15 to climb onto the roof of a warehouse just 450 feet away from Donald Trump.
We all remember
with a clear
that.
line of sight to the stage.
Dude, that ruined our fucking that ruined my my expectation and like everything. When the FBI was like, yeah, well, we didn't have people securing the sloped roof because it might have been dangerous. I was like, are you kidding me? Did you want him to get killed? And the answer is yes, obviously. But I didn't think that they were malicious enough to hire a female. Like I knew that they wanted Trump dead, but I didn't know they wanted him that dead that they would hire a woman for his security. Like this is levels of wanting him dead I previously did not expect to see.
And then shoot him in the head. And once again, at the Louvre, we have yet another unambiguous triumph of feminism. Just 1 year after they picked a woman to lead the security at this famous museum, thieves stole millions of dollars worth of jewelry in broad daylight.
But what if whoever hired the women was one of the thieves? Have you considered that? Maybe the inside job was hiring the women. Okay, this is going too far.
While the museum was open, as the guards ran away.
On
Who would have
scooters.
imagined that this could
They were on
ever be
scooters.
possible?
They were not on
Well, it
foot.
certainly would not have been possible to, say, put armed guards around the building or inside the building.
That's crazy.
That would have just been unthinkable.
Crazy. Armed guards in France? Bro, if you're armed in France, then you could stop the pedophiles from raping the children. Obviously, the goal is the pedophiles raping the children. That's why they have open borders. Like, the armed guards would literally stop the pedophiles from raping the children. And this is not something that France has any interest in doing.
Unthinkable. As unthinkable as, like, putting an agent on a sloped roof. To be clear, the media in France promoted this woman relentlessly prior to this heist, as you would expect. Quote, "Never before has a woman held this highly strategic position," wrote Le.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, those burglars saw this article glazing random woman for being in such an epic position, and they decided to rob the Louvre just to shit on this lady. I am telling you, this was done purely out of spite. This wasn't some master strategy. This is some guys that pulled out some tools from their tool sheds in their garage, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna fucking steal the crown jewels. And it worked. All right, they saw this article, Dominique Buffin, a woman at the Louvre, to protect the most visited museum in the world. Never before has a woman held this highly strategic position. They saw this and like, you know what, fuck this shit, we're stealing their crap. That's what happened, true.
Monde, probably the most respected newspaper in the country. She has been responsible for security at the museum and its surrounding areas. The Olympic Games provided her with...
When no one tries to steal anything, nothing gets stolen. That's my tagline.
accelerated training. So she's responsible for security at the Louvre as well as the surrounding areas, apparently. That's to make you feel comfortable if you're living nearby. It also probably reminds you of this story from a few months ago. Remember the Cincinnati police chief, a woman named Terry Thiege? She was the first woman to lead Cincinnati's police department in its history. She's also grossly incompetent and malicious.
What?
After a mob beat up several white people on camera, she decided that it was a good opportunity to berate people for sharing the footage of the assault. Wasn't upset about the violence.
I remember that. Yeah.
She was upset that people noticed the violence. Watch.
Social media and journalism.
Oh, God, I remember her.
And the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you.
Sorry, man, we have to do it. I don't want to be rude here or anything. I mean this only in a constructive criticism way. All right, this is not meant to insult. This is not meant to harass. Bro, you got, what is this hairdo, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? Bro, no. Also, lady, bro, you can't make this shit up. Not trying to be rude here, but like this is diabolical. This is diabolical, bro. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? This is like the Karen XL. Like, this is caricature levels of Karen. Bro, what is happening? This is diabolical. Diabolical, I tell you. She's a goblin. She looks like she's about to tell me that we shouldn't be sharing photos on social media about people getting robbed. Because it'll make people realize that she failed at protecting people from getting robbed.
Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident.
Bro, the video on social media was like a person getting assaulted. It actually depicted a lot.
That is one version of what occurred.
Well, now we have a belated update to the story. The chief has effectively been fired. This is from a local news station, quote, Cincinnati Police Chief Terry Thiege has been placed on paid administrative leave, city officials confirmed. Cincinnati City Manager Cheryl Long states the move comes pending an internal investigation on the effectiveness of her leadership in the Cincinnati Police Department. The city continues to face serious public safety challenges that underscore the need for stability at the command level. Now, the good news for Chief Terry is that there's probably going to be a job opening at the Louvre pretty soon.
Yo!
But for the rest of us, people who prefer to have safe cities and secure museums, probably a good time to give up on the idea of promoting women on the basis of their gender.
True, completely true.
Because in every case, it ends in disaster.
I mean, and again, first of all, I want to just say this is not just a woman thing. Hiring should be done purely based on skill and not based on diversity, all right? If you're hiring somebody because they're either a woman or they're gay or they're of a specific background and you're here to fill quotas, then you're obviously not hiring someone for their skill or ability. And I think that is truly disgusting and evil. And the fact that this happened, it's all their fault. And if you hire a DEI pilot for a plane and the plane crashes, it is all the person that hired the pilot's fault. This DEI shit needs to go. It needs to die. Thank God Trump gutted that first thing. Basically, the first thing he did when he came into office was he gutted the DEI shit. Because it really is disgusting. It's unbelievable. It really is. And statistically, men are going to be much better at things like security than women. Like, without even a shadow of a doubt, men are going to be better at stuff like this. Honestly, men tend to be better at stressful situations than women. They tend to, right? Statistically. Like, if you look statistically at males versus females, males tend to be better at that. When it comes to things like caring, raising kids, maybe nursing, statistically, women tend to be better and more caring than men. Now, this isn't to say one is better than the other, because a lot of people really like twisting my words into saying that I'm trying to say men are better than women. The reality is, men and women are different. Men and women have different skill sets, and people need to be hired based on merit, not based on fucking titties, all right? I'm not trying to be rude here. Like, I have no interest in living in a society that is so fucking blind that not only are they hiring, underqualified people because they check boxes, but dude, these people think that men could become women and women could become men. Like, you realize we're living in like a complete idiocracy at this point. And honestly, every time something like this happens, I will sit back and I will laugh. I will absolutely laugh. All right? You don't hire a male stripper instead of a female stripper because, well, you need diversity. You don't do it because the people that are coming, they want to actually see a female stripper. Again, not a big fan of strip clubs and stuff like that in general. But I am saying that you guys suck. Or you guys suck. And you're all liars. You're all frauds. This whole DEI shit is garbage. And I'm really glad every time you fail miserably.
It doesn't take much. In Cincinnati, it took a few people with cell phones to cause the chief of police to melt down on camera. In Paris, it took a few thieves with power tools to clear out the most famous museum in the world. And in Butler, it took a sloped roof.
Yep.
I mean, the truth is, you could put a Boy Scout troop in charge of security and public safety, and they would do a better job in all of these cases.
Can I give you an example? If you're a male watching this video, and you're gonna get this, and if you're a female watching this video, you're not gonna get this. Can I give you an example? Have you ever just been sitting there in your room and all of a sudden in your mind, you're like, if someone broke into my house right now and tried to kill me, what would I do? What weapons would I go for? And how would I fight back? Completely out of the random, out of the blue, nothing actually happened, all right? This didn't happen. This is not a real scenario. You're just sitting there doing nothing, and then you think to yourself, all right, but if someone did break in right now, what would I grab and where would I go and what would I do? Every single male in my audience probably thinks the same exact thing. Probably you're like, all right, so I would go for that room. I have an axe. That room, I have a drill, power tools, the strongest weapon in the galaxy. All right, my gun is there. And men they do this just randomly out of the blue every week or 2 weeks or however long. Just snaps. All right, what would I do right now? Would I go for the knife? Would I go for that? Would I go for the hammer? I'm telling you, every man goes through that. They do the threat assessment shit at all times. Women don't. Like, dude, I was at a friend. And and he was explaining, like, oh yeah, I keep my kookery over there. And my whammon was like, why the hell would you keep a kookery there? It's like, obviously, if someone breaks in, this is the most accessible way for me to. And she was just like, whoa. What? Why would you even think about this? And I'm like, yep. All right, we know.
And at the very least, they probably do something. Although that's a very low bar. It's a bar that none of the women I've just mentioned has been able to clear. And that is why the first ever female director of security at the Louvre has many, many fewer jewels to guard today. Which I guess just makes her job easier.
True!
And it's also why, along with Cincinnati's first ever female police chief, she is today canceled.
Yeah, it was a good video. No, but ultimately, I really liked. I appreciated my coverage of the situation. Not to glaze myself too much, but making fun of French people is one of my favorite things, as well as making fun of men. Oh, and also women. I'm an equal opportunist retard attacker. I go for all the retards. Definitely subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, bye, stay weird, bye, bye. Don't be cringe, don't be cringe. Don't hire people based on fucking bullshit. Don't hire people based on titties. Hire them based on merit. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.